revolt! Because there's no other option and the alternatives are stark, spread thin like the sliver of moon in its moment's last wane, screaming through backlit clouds of ironclad hands, revolt! The time for awakening is right now. It is our right, nay, our duty, obligation, calling, to rip the stones from the cobbled streets and cast them with our everything. Stronger, harder, faster, and longer than any band of revolutionaries, we must fight as mercenaries for our freedom. But in reality, not even Lady Liberty can liberate the unwilling, the ignorant, or lazy from their couches, even when their lives are at stake. What then when the world spins counterclockwise, thrusting the unprepared entirety off balance? Who will remove the indefatigable thorn that will surely cause even the most devout to doubt? Or will it be too late? The structure too tall, the myopia too deep, the pebbles too small? What then when the tyrant has us in his grasp? Have we learned nothing from history? But how could we when Orwell's 1984 has taught us nothing more than fiction? Napoleon, Stalin, Hitler, what will it take for the masses to wake up and realize that the Antichrist is not going to shop at Hot Topic? So stop criticizing the angst-ridden souls who put holes in their face and rip up their clothes just to safety pin them back together. Tyrants are a hell of a lot smarter than that, and the sly bastard's disguise will blindside the best. More often than not, the roads to tyrannical reigns are paved with only the best intentions. With moderate pessimism, I ask, where have those ever landed anyone? Notice, recognize, wake up, and realize that we are stuck in the hermeneutical circle. That is the condition of only being able to interpret new things on the basis of pre-existing values and beliefs. In other words, the past can only be understood in light of the present, and the present understood by the past. The greatest trick of the trade is to accept the circle and predict its curvature. Survival of the fittest didn't just go away. Thus, we must evolve our minds today, for even tomorrow could be too late to extinguish a fire in the sky or prevent a plague of fragmented ignorance. We wouldn't know what to do because we've never had to. The stars of the living room war pay their dues with thank yous and come agains at your local Walmart for minimum wage. We have no clue what they went through, but do we really need to when our parents and theirs have described each detail so well that, hell, even I know where I was when Kennedy was shot? And yes, the thought of Pink Floyd post Roger Waters brings a tear to my eye. Face it, existentialism in the wrong hands leads to holocausts and undelivered pizzas, not to mention the best minds of our generation panhandling on street corners, begging, pleading for change. Can you spare some change? Can you afford not to? Change is the only constant. We have it in our back pockets just in case things don't go quite as planned, and they never do. It's the same old play with modern actors. The turn of the century is self-evidently met with revolutionary thought. Picasso met the 20th century with rarefied thought, and Albert Einstein played Mary Shelley's creator, and boom! They were off changing the world. A concern for the collective that cannot be called altruistic, but optimistically and rationally egotistical. A demand for quality and equality for those who are willing to work for it. And we, yes, you and I, coeval common man and intellectual alike, have met our century with fear. The only change most can muster is manifest in hair color and lattes. So it's no wonder that when the computer guy from Sector G said, boss, I think there might be a problem that the masses play telephone like schoolgirls in PJs on a Saturday night. 00, you say? Think of the blackouts, the riots. No, I heard Nosferatu predicted the birth of the Antichrist. And like that, Chicken Little convinced the farm that the sky was indeed falling. Then they scurried off to their caves with their cases of Evian and Easy Mac in hands, while using the other to pray for a hero to save the day. You know, like in the movies. And when the clock struck 12 and the mouse ran down without a hitch, paranoia spread like an epidemic and settled on the shoulders of the crowd. Fear and denial. Not a favorable combination. Hero worship and fashionable idols became the tune of the time. Anything that distracts, interrupts, influences, or alters the way your mind or body function. Pills were preferred by 4 out of 5 feminist housewives, but most settled for a dating show or an after-school special, whichever one was on after Jeopardy. And there they sat and sit, noses glued to their little window through which they observe the world at a close distance. Too bad the angle is a little skewed. It's another chapter read backwards, so the heroine unmeets the hero. The unsung glory reverts to the tongue of a hopeful yet bashful young prince, and the reprise is rewritten with prescient refrains foreshadowing the inevitable.